Today we're going to talk about using eyelets and brads to embellish your cards and scrapbook layouts. Eyelets, I'm going to start with, have kind of fallen out of favor recently, and I suspect it's because we all have a lot of them, but we don't have a good tool to set them with. So I'm going to show you how to use this wonderful tool by We Are Memory Keepers called a Crop-a-dile. And the Crop-a-dile has two things on it. First, it has the holes that you can use to make the punches for your eyelets, and secondly, it has the mechanism to set the eyelet, and I'm going to show you how you do this. First, you decide where you're going to put your eyelet and how big you need depending on the size of the eyelet. Punch the hole, put the eyelet down into the hole, and then if you look at the top of the Crop-a-dile, you'll see where the projectile is jutting out. That goes right into the hole, and you just hold, squeeze, release, and your eyelet is set. Not a problem at all. No banging, no hammering. It's a wonderful tool. The way I like to use my eyelets is, this is my favorite, is to put one on either side of a band around a card, and then to tie a ribbon to close it. Just something very different and very nice for your cards. You can use them in other ways too. You can use them to dot eyes or to use as decorations, as eyes, or to make an animal, a caterpillar for example. And then if you don't like the hole that is showing with an eyelet, you can actually put a brad right into the hole to cover it, coordinate it with your papers. So that's eyelets. Let's move along to brads. There are several things that you can do with brads to embellish them before you even put them on your cards and layouts. One thing that you can do is stamp on them. There are these large flat brads that you can easily stamp on. It's best to use stays-on ink because that doesn't smear and lasts forever. But if you don't have any stays-on, you can stamp with regular ink. Just be sure to heat set that so that it doesn't smear. So you can stamp on brads. Another thing that you can do is, I really like these frosted brads. They're often seen most of the time at the holidays, but you can make your own frosted brads if you need a particular color or size, and it's very easy to do this. I use a clothespin to hold it because it's easier. And I just take a little glue pen. You can also use a glue pad and just tap it onto the glue pad, or use the glue pen, tap it into your glitter, and you have your own handmade frosted brad. Some brads have beautiful detail that you can certainly see when you have it up close, but sometimes it gets lost, and if you want to coordinate a color particularly with your card or layout, I just use the Dabber inks by Adirondack. This happens to be the gold metallic, and you just dab or rub the paint on until you get the desired color. I do heat set this as well, just so that it won't smear. It only takes a couple of seconds, and then you can really see the detail that comes up on these beautiful decorative brads. You can use any color that you like. I happen to use gold for this, but you can even see the difference in how much paint you put on. This is very light, and this is a little heavier application. They really look beautiful. And then the last thing is, if you want to alter the color of a brad because you don't have one that matches your layout, you can take and use any kind of paint or a marker. I prefer the Copic markers. They're lovely to work with. They have a fine end and then a thicker end. And I just take and paint on. You can just use them to distress. You can use any color that you want. You can change the color completely, or you can just make it a different shade of a color. These Copic pens come in a million different colors, so very, very handy to have around. Many of the companies now are issuing coordinated brads with their paper lines. And as you can see, you have everything from just beautifully decorative brads to holiday type brads to blingy brads. Here's another bling. And again, the detailed brads that we showed, you can really find anything. And some of the ways that I like to use brads are for the centers of flowers, which I'm sure you've all done. And then you can use them for eyes or noses. For simply decorative edges, you can frame a picture. And here's the use of one of the decorative brads by one of the paper companies. They're really lovely. You can use brads to string ribbon. All you do is set your two brads, wrap the ribbon around and tie a bow in the center. Again, decorative. Or use them to attach charms. And these are some of the Tim Holtz gears and arrows. So those are some of the few ways that I like to use eyelets and brads. We would love to see what you do with eyelets and brads. So visit us on Facebook and share your work with us. And please drop in and see us at Scrapbook Superstore any day.